following currently the reform of the Common Agricultural Policy. Talking about agricultural issues, let me say first that European agriculture has been intensified in the last decades quite massively and has been using a lot of external inputs like, for example, artificial pesticides and fertilizers, which are depending on the use of oil and energy as well. So when we are talking about agriculture nowadays, we imagine a system which is very much dependent on energy and use of oil, as I said, and has been more and more, intensified more and more. Which, when we think of and talk about environmental issues, has been, of course, causing a lot of environmental problems, because the use of pesticides and artificial fertilizers have been destroying soil, have been polluting water, and if we look like more than half of European areas are used for agricultural production, for food production, basically. So that means that the way how we produce food and what kind of inputs we are using have impact on the soil, have impact on the water, but have also impact on the climate, as agriculture is one of the biggest greenhouse gas emitter as well. Another problem of the system as well is that it destroys, as I said, natural resources. It destroys a lot of biodiversity here in Europe, where this intensive system is developed more and more, but also in third countries where soy monocultures have been grown, where a lot of biodiverse areas and rainforests had been cut down. And this is something that we can't have back. On the other side, we're using crops that are unified. We don't use the old varieties that our parents have been using for hundreds of years before, and this is loss that we can't stop. And if it's once it's gone, we can't have it back. This is that's why it's very important what kind of agriculture we promote. Looking into the proposals of the Commission that came out last year, we think that there were nice and positive ideas, for example, in terms of environmental protection with the greening, but this is simply not enough. This measure needs a lot of improvements in order to deliver for European agriculture, and what is completely missing is the link between European and international agriculture, because you can't focus European agriculture still on trade-oriented system and expect that that the environment can be sustained. We need to look more into the natural resources that we have at local level to see what the region can carry in terms of environmental protection, so that we start having a system which is more localized, which uses the natural and preserves the natural resources of the region, and in this way respects water, respects biodiversity, respects soil protection, and so on. One of the example of how we could start a very small step in this direction is, for example, as I said already, the need of closing the loop of protein feed that we import from South America. We could simply start producing more legumes here in Europe. We could start producing more clover, peas and beans, local varieties that are using also and are respecting the needs of the region, and which are used for European animals, are placed on the European market, and are satisfying European needs.
Perfect.